Hey there, Lammies! Welcome to another Dino of the Day video. How should we dance today? Dino of the Day. What? Dino of the Day. What? Dino of the Day. Yesterday, we learned all about the Apatosaurus. We learned that he was a very long dinosaur. We also learned that he was a herbivore, and we learned that his biggest predator was the Allosaurus. Now, let's find out who our Dino of the Day today is. Can I get a drum roll, please? Today's Dino of the Day is the Triceratops. The Triceratops is one of the most common fossils found, meaning that scientists believe that they really have a good idea about what the Triceratops was like and what it did and who its predators were. Their fossils have told us a lot about them. Let's see what there is to learn about them. So the Triceratops wasn't the biggest dinosaur by any means, but he could get to about 30 feet long from his head to his tail. He also could be about 9 feet tall, so imagine like maybe as tall as your ceiling at home. That's about how tall he was. His head was really big, about 1/3 of his body, so that means that his body had to carry a lot of weight carrying his head. He had 3 horns, 1 on his nose and 2 coming out of his head. And he also had on the back of his head what's called a frill. Can you guys say frill? F-R-I-L-L. Frill. That was used to protect his neck from predators. So let's talk about his habitat. There's that word again. Man, we hear that word all the time when we talk about animals, huh? So the Triceratops lived in drier, but yet more foresty areas where there was a lot of vegetation. He's another dinosaur who is found here in the United States. He is the state fossil of the state South Dakota, but I believe he's been found in a lot of places around the United States. I'll have a map right here for you guys. So these are all the places where they've found a Triceratops. How cool is that? So like all of our other dinosaurs this week, the Triceratops comes from an egg. So what would happen is the mommy Triceratops would lay a cluster of eggs in a nest, and she would stay there and guard them from scavenger dinosaurs. Yes. There were some dinosaurs that liked to eat dinosaur eggs before they hatched. So the mommy Triceratops would stay really close to her eggs to make sure that nothing could get them. I'm pretty sure on the train ride at Disneyland, if you ride the whole thing, there's this little part where you get to see the world where there's dinosaurs. And the Triceratops have little baby Triceratops hatching. I'll try to find a good picture. So what did the Triceratops eat and how did he get his food? The Triceratops was another herbivore, meaning he only ate plants. Most likely, he ate a lot of things like palm leaves and other kinds of leaves that were growing on kind of shorter trees that he could reach, maybe possibly other vegetation coming from the ground. Even though we know a lot about the Triceratops compared to other dinosaurs, there's still stuff we're not quite sure of. We can only make guesses because they're no longer here to show us how they lived. Scientists aren't sure if they traveled in herds or not. The funny thing about Triceratops is that some of them were found together. Some of the fossils were found with other Triceratops, whereas others, and a lot, were found alone. So they're really not sure if they traveled in herds or not. Let's talk about predators. What kind of predators did the Triceratops have to deal with? That's right. The Triceratops' main predator was the Tyrannosaurus rex. There's actually fossil evidence on Triceratops of them getting in fights with Tyrannosaurus rexes. But luckily for the Triceratops, he had his 3 horns to protect himself and his frill, which likely he used to charge at the predator to get it to go away. Although they don't believe he was that fast of a dinosaur. He was really lucky to have that protection on his head though. Can you imagine living back then and seeing all the different kinds of dinosaurs and seeing all of the different kinds of predators and prey and herbivores and carnivores? That would be so crazy, but it would also be really cool to see. What do you guys think? All right, let's learn some fun facts about our friend, the Triceratops. The word Triceratops means 3-horned face in Greek, and that's how he got his name, because he had 3 horns. The Triceratops had one of the biggest animal heads ever to exist. So his head, in proportion to his body, was one of the biggest to ever exist. The Triceratops could have up to 800 teeth in his mouth. Isn't that crazy? If you guys have ever seen The Land Before Time, the dinosaur Sarah is a Triceratops. That's actually how she gets her name. She doesn't spell her name S-A-R-A-H like we would spell Sarah. She actually spells it out of the name Triceratops. How funny is that? Wasn't that so cool learning all about our friend the Triceratops? I really liked learning that the Triceratops had a frill to protect her neck. I also really liked learning how big they were. They were 30 feet long and 9 feet tall. That's really tall, you guys. I also really liked learning that this is a very well-discovered dinosaur, meaning they found a lot of Triceratops fossils, which has helped scientists learn a lot about the Triceratops. If you would like, you can tell me 3 things you learned about our friend the Triceratops on the Lambs Class Facebook page or at the Lambs Class email. Alright guys, I'll have a really fun dinosaur for you tomorrow. Be excited, it'll be really cool. Alright, I'll see you guys then. Bye!